China's Victory Day parade isn't just a display of military might, it's a geopolitical chess move, a historical reminder, and a statement of power that's sending ripples across the globe. This year's event, held in Beijing to mark 80 years since the end of World War II in Asia, is bigger than ever. With world leaders like Vladimir Putin and Jong Un in attendance, it's not just about celebrating a victory. It's about reinforcing alliances, reshaping narratives, and projecting China's growing influence. But here's where it gets controversial. Who's invited and who's not says as much about the event as the weapons on parade do. Let's break down what's happening, why it matters, and why this parade could spark more debate than fireworks. When and how big is this parade? Mark your calendars. The parade kicks off at 9 a.m. local time, 1 a.m. GMT on Wednesday. This isn't just a routine show of force. It's the largest military parade in China's history. Think of it as a cinematic spectacle, with 45 troop contingents marching past President Xi Jinping in Tiananmen Square. The event will last around 70 minutes, featuring hundreds of aircraft, including drones, hypersonic missiles, and fighter jets. State media even promises 80 buglers to honor the 80 years since Japan's defeat in 1945. The symbolism? The 1,000 musicians arranged in 14 rows represent every year of China's resistance since Japan's 1931 invasion of Manchuria. And if that's not enough, spectators will sit on chairs dyed green, red, and gold, colors symbolizing fertile land, sacrifice, and peace. Who's coming, and why it's a big deal? China's guest list reads like a geopolitical cocktail. Russian President Vladimir Putin is already in Beijing. Fresh off the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, North Korea's Jong Un made headlines by arriving via an armored train, a first for a North Korean leader in 66 years. Other attendees include leaders from Iran, Pakistan, Mongolia, Uzbekistan, and Belarus, all of whom share a common thread. They're either close allies of China or have distanced themselves from Western-led sanctions against Russia. But the surprises don't stop there. Only two European leaders, Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico and Serbian President Alexander Vučić, are attending. Fico, a NATO member, has been courting Russia despite his country's EU ties. Vučić, meanwhile, has openly criticized sanctions on Russia over its Ukraine war. Their presence raises a question. Is this parade a unifying event or a gathering of the anti-West bloc? The history behind the parade. To understand the significance of this event, you need to rewind to 1931. While the Western world marks World War II's start with Germany's invasion of Poland in 1939, China's suffering began years earlier. Japanese forces invaded Manchuria, sparking a brutal conflict that lasted until 1945. The Chinese Communist Party (CCP) and the Kuomintang (KMT) eventually united to resist Japan, though their civil war simmered beneath the surface. Estimates suggest 20 million Chinese civilians died in the war, with atrocities like the Nanjing Massacre haunting the collective memory. The CCP's role in this resistance is central to China's narrative, especially now, as the party seeks to cement its historical legitimacy. By commemorating September 3rd as Victory Day, the day after Japan's 1945 surrender, China isn't just honoring the past, it's reinforcing its claim as the guardian of national unity and a counterweight to Western historical narratives. What's at stake for China? This parade is more than nostalgia. It's a signal to the world that China is embracing a multipolar order where alliances are fluid and power is shared. The absence of Western leaders, like the US, Germany, or France, underscores this shift. But here's the twist. By inviting leaders from Russia, North Korea, and others, China is also walking a tightrope. Will this event strengthen its global influence or alienate potential partners? And what about Taiwan? Since 2016, the island's pro-independence Democratic Progressive Party has clashed with China's unification demands. The parade's emphasis on the CCP's wartime role is a subtle reminder that, In Beijing's eyes, the mainland and Taiwan are one. Chapter Final Thoughts and a Call for Debate. China's Victory Day Parade is a masterclass in soft power and hard power combined. It's a reminder of the past, a showcase of present strength, and a blueprint for the future. But does it go too far? Is this a celebration of peace or a veiled warning to rivals? And what does it say about the world's shifting alliances? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Do you see this parade as a unifying gesture or a provocative display of China's growing assertiveness? And where do you stand on the debate over how history is remembered globally?